Hello, my name is Milo, and welcome to my rural DoorDash ride-along. This is the final episode of my February DoorDash Goals series. I have 7 days left, Sunday the 22nd through Saturday the 28th, and I want to make $2,500 this month. I am almost to $1,800, which means I have $700 to go. So I need to average $100 a day. It is Sunday night, starting at about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna go for maybe about 4 hours, depending on how it goes. And my first offer of the night is from Abby's Legendary Pizza. It was $7.30 with a plus sign. The pizza was ready when I arrived. I picked it up, I delivered it to the hotel room, found out that the hidden tip was an additional $4 beyond the original offer card. We always like that. And then, before I had even got back to my car, I had an offer to shop at Fred Meyer. And it's about $2 a mile, and it's going to Toledo. While I do much prefer restaurant pickup over shopping, I will say that shopping orders often pay better. And then I got an offer from Momiji. The next offer I got was $7 for 10 miles, and I said, no, I don't want to do that one, but instead I will take this $7 for 3 mile offer, because that's so much better. So what was I just saying about how shopping orders pay better a lot of the time? Well, this one doesn't. I'm taking it anyway because it's 3 items and it's not going very far. While I was shopping at Safeway, I got a message from the last customer who got an order from Papa Murphy's saying that there was a drink missing and asked if I could go back and get it. Papa Murphy is on my way from Safeway to this customer. I'm gonna swing by on my way and drop off the groceries, and then I will pause my dash and get this person their drink. I also had the opportunity to check the items because they were in plain view in the bag. It was a clear bag. I could see what was in it. So I should have checked the item list and noticed there was a drink missing. I collected the missing soda from Papa Murphy's. I delivered the groceries, and I paused my dash so I don't get any more offers before I am able to return this soda to its rightful owner. I promise I'm not trying to do rage bait right here. I know some of y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I'm considering returning part of the tip in cash just as an apology. Well, I tried to return a portion of the tip in cash, but they actually insisted on tipping extra in cash, so it backfired, and it turned out well for me. And my Safeway order that I had just done that probably didn't have a tip in the first place, they added a tip after the fact, so that was also nice. So here's my new offer, $3.30. Because we have peak pay right now, that means there is no tip. I'm still gonna do it because it just seems like it's a slower night right now. It stopped being busy an hour ago. And if I just keep taking lowball offers, it'll add up. So when I went to drop off the McDonald's order, there was no place to set it out of the rain. And it was raining hard. So I called the customer and said, do you want me to leave it here? And he came out to get it from me. And then I went to try and mark that I handed the order to the customer in the app, but my phone screen was glitching because it was so wet that none of the buttons did what they were supposed to do, and I just ended up opening like 4 other apps that I didn't actually want. Anyway, it's all done, and I have a new offer that is $7 plus, and now I am going right back to Local Ocean for a catering order. So that total went up to $25, which was very, very nice. And then I got an offer from McDonald's that's going to Toledo, but the pay is very good for going to Toledo. Well, that was interesting. I arrived at the address that I was supposed to drop that food off at, and as I'm walking up to the door, this woman pokes her head out and says, you got the wrong house. And I gave her the address, and she said, well, that is this house, but we didn't order it. And we got an order last night that wasn't ours too. So I called the customer, and the customer apparently didn't know his address because he had to look it up. And sure enough, he was like a half a block down the street. Well, I drove back to Newport, and the first offer they sent me was 14 for 14 to go to Depot Bay, and I didn't want to do that. Then they sent me a 13 for 9 to go to Toledo, and I still didn't want to do that either. I am taking this $4 Walgreens order. It's not good, but it's not taking me to the next city. Well, that was an easy order to shop for, but I arrived at the hotel to drop it off, and it took forever to find the room number, and then it took forever for him to answer the door because it was PIN required. But it's dropped off, and I'm on my way to pick up a Taco Bell order. I dropped that off, and it's just after 9 o'clock, and I was thinking maybe I should end my dash here. I'm over $120. When I went to the screen where you can end the dash, I noticed two things. One was that it was saying that my dash ends at 11:30. I had scheduled until 9:30. I've seen it bump it forward a half hour before, but 2 hours? That's different. But the other thing I noticed is that peak pay went up from $1 to $3. And then I had this offer. It was a $16 for, I don't remember how many miles. It was not upside down. And now I'm actually ending my dash. I made $138 and change, which is actually $140 and change because of the $2 cash tip. If my target is $100 a day for the last 7 days of the month, it may not happen every day. So to get $140 today is going to give me a buffer so that I can afford to miss the mark during the midweek slump. And it is Monday morning. It is not even 8 o'clock. I got up before dawn to drive to Corvallis to do a dash here. I'm hoping to make over $100 again this morning. The Corvallis zone is actually 7 cities, and the first one I entered was Philomath, so I logged in Philomath thinking I'm going to drive to Corvallis, but I got an offer here in Philomath for Human Being for $5 and 3 miles. The next offer is a 5 for 5 from Starbucks, and it's taking me into Corvallis proper. So this is actually a positioning offer. And now I am parking and waiting for a moment to see what they offer me next. I apologize, this is a little bit off-brand being in the bigger city on a channel called Rural Dashing, but it is once again a $5 offer, this time from McDonald's. And now I am going to be picking up from Taco Bell, another $5 offer. Then I had a substantial wait, and the next offer was $6.25. Slightly more than the previous ones I'd been receiving. Now I've got a Safeway shopping order, and it's $10. We're doing a little better, but as shopping orders go, that's still not very much. And shortly after accepting that, I got an add-on for a Fred Meyer shopping order that's only 2 items, so I'm taking that. And while I was in Safeway, I got an add-on for another Safeway order, so this is now a triple stack shopping order. So what's interesting is the Safeway shopping orders both went fine. No substitutions, no trouble finding anything. Fred Meyer, however, was harder. And I find that interesting because in Newport it's the other way around. All 3 shopping orders have been delivered. I have passed the $50 mark for the day. I thought it was amusing. While I was navigating to the last customer, the in-app navigation glitched and said the speed limit was 12. I don't know where they got 12 from. And because it has not been as busy as I'd hoped this morning, I am accepting an upside down offer from Starbucks. Realistically, I'm already driving dead miles from home to Corvallis and back, so apparently I am picking up from Burgerville next. Not a great offer either, but it isn't upside down. Well, we got another DoorDash glitch. I arrived at Burgerville to pick up the order, and it said that I was supposed to have picked it up 13 minutes ago. I don't think it even took me 13 minutes from getting the offer to drive there. So that was literally impossible. Fortunately, it looks like I'm still going to be early to drop off. Next up is a $9 stacked order, 2 pickups from the same restaurant. Then I got a $2 offer and I declined it. And then I got a stacked order from Togo's Sandwiches. I don't know if it's a play on the phrase to go, as in a to-go order, or if it's the country in Africa. While I was loading those 2 orders into the car, I got an add-on, and because I was trying to shelter my phone from the rain in my pocket, I didn't actually notice the add-on until I had 2 seconds left to accept it. And now I have got a new stacked order, 2 restaurants, 2 customers for $13.75. But what's awkward is there's a road closure, and so I refused to turn down the road that's closed. When it tried to reroute, it told me to go around the block and go back to that road that's closed. Well, I ended up having to unassign one of the 2 orders on that stack because I couldn't find the restaurant. Fortunately, I did get a worry-free unassign by saying I couldn't find it. But like, it pointed me to a building, and I looked around the entire building and I saw all the signs for all the establishments in there. It was not one of them. I was so confused. I got a new stack, so let's do this double pickup. And with that, I am ending my dash today. I'm gonna pick up a bite to eat for myself and then go home. I did make over $100. That was the goal. It took longer than I'd hoped, and there were definitely some challenges. I didn't even talk about all of them as we were going. I came back out at 8 p.m., back in my usual zone, and there's peak pay, and somehow this is still considered a high-paying offer. Did I really need to go out again tonight? I already made $100 this morning in Corvallis, and I needed to average $100 a day. Well, the thing is, I don't think I'm going to make $100 a day the next few days during the midweek slump. I'm trying to get ahead of myself now. Well, peak pay is sure bringing out the cream of the crop, isn't it? This is a lovely looking McDonald's order going to South Beach for only $4.80. So I got to McDonald's to pick up this order. Turned out it was just an order of French fries, nothing else. I have a theory, and I don't know if I'm right, because I can think of a few different explanations for this, but the theory I'm going to go with is that this person also ordered from another restaurant and then got fries from McDonald's as a side. And they left all or most of their tip on the main dinner order. Then it didn't get sent to the same dasher. That is my theory. I am most likely going to end my dash because this does not look like it's really going to be worth my time. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. I had to run up to Lincoln City this afternoon, so I decided I would do a lunch dash up here. But I'm not getting any offers. I'm driving up to the north end of town where all the fast food chains and Safeway and Walgreens are to see if that'll help. There is peak pay, so that'll improve the pay on the orders when they actually come in, but the orders have to come in. As I'm approaching this particular part of town, last Friday when I was dashing up here and there was the police barricade blocking the highway, I later learned that there was a fatal traffic accident. Felt like I should address it because as I was watching back last week's video, I felt like having that knowledge of there having been a fatality, my tone about navigating around that incident seemed a little too casual. Well, look at that, my first offer, and it's upside down, but since I haven't been getting anything at all, I'm gonna take it. You can roast me in the comments or tell me that I'm ridiculous, whatever. That customer had a live chicken sitting on their porch. I thought it was a stuffed bird until I went to set the food down and it started making noise and walking away from me. On my way back into Lincoln City from Otis, the first offer that showed up was an upside down Walgreens order going right back to Otis. And after I struggled with the last shopping order at Walgreens and last time I was in Lincoln City, I didn't really want to go back to that Walgreens for a not very well paying offer. So I declined that, and then I got a Safeway retail pickup, which is not upside down, and it's bringing me back into the city of Lincoln City. I went in to Safeway to pick up from the drive up and go department, and took a second to find the drive up and go department because I've never done a retail pickup at this Safeway before. But I got there and took them a moment to be ready to hand me all the items, and as they're handing me stuff, I'm scanning the barcodes, and it was saying that I needed 2 more barcodes. So I had to figure out what was going on so I could get everything scanned. While in the process of doing that, I got an add-on for Grocery Outlet, and now Grocery Outlet, I've never been to the one in Lincoln City, but the one in Newport it's not a bad store, but it is a nuisance to do on DoorDash, and I don't know if the one in Lincoln City is comparable to that, and I just decided, no, I'm not doing that. After dropping off those groceries, I got an offer from Zeller's Bar and Grill. It is going to Otis again, but it's paying about $2 a mile. Okay, fine, I will go to Walgreens. It's only 2 items. And before I even got there, add-on for 1 item at Safeway. And I'm gonna call it here. I made about $46, so behind pace for the day, but maybe I'll get out again tonight. And back at it Tuesday evening, at least for a little bit, and there's peak pay here in Newport too tonight. I'm starting with an offer from Local Ocean. It is for $7.30 with a plus sign. So I dropped off that first order from Local Ocean at a hotel. There were no delivery instructions, but it said leave at lobby, but it's this room number. So I thought, am I supposed to leave it with staff and have them call up the room? Or is there like some missing information here? A message to customer, do you want me to leave it in the lobby or by the room door? He didn't answer. There was no one at the front desk, so I took it up to the room. And then I got an offer from Yummy Bowl, a restaurant that I didn't know was on DoorDash. Picked it up, dropped that off, and now I'm going to Clearwater. And now I am going to pick up from Taste of India. Not a single bad offer tonight so far. They're all really short distances. So I went to drop that off. I think there was a hidden tip on it because the total was like $13 or something. I don't think that's what it originally said. And he gave me a $10 cash tip too. And I'm already getting an order from Flashbacks, and this is the most mileage on an offer so far, 6 miles, but it's $9, so that's fine. Yeah, you know what, I am gonna do that. I just got an add-on to go back to Taste of India, and that one's going to Toledo. So the add-on is upside down, but I'm in fantastic shape tonight. I don't even care. So I picked up from Flashbacks, I picked up from Taste of India, and it was funny, as I was driving away from Taste of India, I did a double take because in my peripheral vision, I noticed that the building had all the lights out. I think I picked up their last order of the night. Yeah, this shift is going so great. Every single pickup I have done has been ready. There were a couple of times where it still needed to be put in the bag, or I needed to get someone's attention to get it, but the food was already made every time. So I didn't have to wait at restaurants. I didn't have to wait to get offers either. I had no waiting time in between. And until now, where I'm going to be taking one of these 2 orders to Toledo, until this, everything was short distance. Because right now, my odometer trip counter is at 9.3 miles. And I've been at it for less than an hour. I've made $45 including the cash tip, but not counting these 2 orders I still have to drop off. That's going to bring me to about $60, which means I'm going to be at over $100 for the day. By the time I've dropped both of these off, it'll be pretty close to 9 o'clock, so I may end the dash then. And if I do, I'll be pretty happy with that. It is now Wednesday lunch shift. It's about 11:30, and there's peak pay again. And I am starting off with an offer from Lupita's Kitchen, $7.30 plus, and it is not going very far at all. Look at that offer card and accept it. It was from 101 Burger. Now I've got a $14 double pickup from Rise and Momiji. Then I got a $7 offer from McDonald's. This actually has a plus sign on it, which is unusual for fast food. Then I got an offer from Taco Bell, and I didn't like this offer. It was going to Toledo. It was less than $1 a mile for the one-way trip. I said, no, I don't want to do that. But I will take this next offer, which is from Ocean Blue at Geno's. This one looks good to me. And now I am picking up from Momiji. And that's going to be a wrap on this lunch shift. I am hoping that I will be able to get back out tonight, but I did get over $50, so if I get out tonight and make another 50, that'll bring me to the 100 for the day. Well, I am getting back out at 5 o'clock. I have somewhere to be at 6, so this is going to be a pretty short run, only going to do a couple of deliveries, and I might get out again after my commitment is over, depending on how late it is. But I'm starting off with a $5 Starbucks offer. I don't know why someone's ordering Starbucks at 5 p.m., but that's okay. And I waited for about 20 minutes, didn't get anything. All right, it's a little after 8 o'clock. I'm back online, and I've got an offer from Flashbacks. It's not a great one, but I'm gonna do it. Then I got a $3 offer from Taco Bell, and I thought, man, I'm sitting and waiting. Should I just do it? But then I remembered there's peak pay, which means that's a no-tip order. It wasn't technically upside down. Some days I would have just done it, but tonight I decided, nope, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I'll take this Fred Meyer offer, $10. While I was shopping, I got an add-on for another Fred Meyer order, so I'm taking that one too. They're both going in the same direction. And with those two Fred Meyer orders delivered, I am logging out for the night. It is a little past 9 o'clock. Peak pay is over. All right, I'm starting off my Thursday lunch shift with an offer from Lucky Thai Elephant, and I made a rookie mistake and I forgot to screenshot it, but it was $6.30 with a plus sign, and I believe it was 0.8 miles. But what I can give you is the screenshot of the receipt telling you how much the offer went up to. It went up $1. And now I have an offer with a screenshot from Barge Inn Tavern for $9. I'm gonna take this one. Next is a $4.30 offer from McDonald's. Next up, $6.80 for 2.5 miles from El Faro Taqueria. And then the offers dried up in Newport, so I'm zone hopping up to Lincoln City since I have to be up here in a little bit anyway. I'm only gonna have about an hour, so maybe 3 deliveries at the absolute most. Well, this is a lovely offer. All right, this is slightly more like it. $7 for 3 miles from Subway. We're trying again one more time today. It's a little after 7 p.m. And there's peak pay. Again, they've been doing a lot of peak pay lately. And the first offer of the night is from Fred Meyer. Shopping order, $9 and change with a plus sign. That total went up to $30.90. As soon as I got to the store and saw the delivery notes, I realized what customer it was, and this customer's always left really nice tips. I really appreciate this customer. Now I have got an offer from 101 Burger. That's a pretty good one too. So I got to 101 Burger to pick up the order, and I see the item list includes 2 malts. And when she hands me the order, I don't see the malts. So I ask her about it, and she looks at the receipt again and realizes that a previous dasher came in to collect somebody else's order and took them by mistake, thinking it was part of that order. So I asked her if she could remake them, and she said that was the last of the ice cream. I can't. So I went through the app to mark that it's been refunded, and because last time I had this happen, the customer didn't get the notification that they were getting a refund in time and were upset with me about forgetting a drink. So This time I made a point of messaging the customer, and then I had to wait for a little bit, but the next offer was $5.80 from Momiji. So I did not hit the $100 mark today, and I didn't yesterday either. But because I created enough of a buffer at the beginning of the week, with 2 days to spare, I have less than $200 to go. I am starting off my Friday lunch shift with an offer from McDonald's that's $10 for 10 miles. No thank you, I'm not doing that. Instead, I will take this $5 offer from Burger King. It is half the pay, but considerably less time and mileage going into it, so I am happily taking this one instead. The next offer was a $14 stack from Taste of India and Papa Murphy's Pizza. So after picking up both those orders, I got an add-on for McDonald's for another $6, and I'm gonna take that. Next up is another stacked order. This is from Bargain Tavern and Walgreens, both going to the same customer for $9. And then I declined an upside-down Safeway shopping order, and then they sent me this really terrible stack. But it's not upside down, and I don't like how low my acceptance rate is. That last decline brought me down to 87%. I'd rather be above 90. So, unfortunately, I am taking this one. And now we have a slightly less offensive $5 order from Lupita's Kitchen. Actually, this is not bad. It's going less than 2 miles. I was just hoping for a real banger. And next up is a $10 order from Ocean Blue at Gino's. It is past 1:30, so I'm gonna call it here and come back out this evening. Now, the good news is, if I'm doing the math right in my head, I think I'm maybe about $110 away from the goal right now. So if I have a really good shift tonight, I might hit the goal or come really close to it with 1 day to spare. And it's time for Friday evening shift. I got started a little later than I wanted to because I had some stuff come up. But here we are. And the first offer of the night is a decent offer from Ocean Blue at Gino's. It was $10 and I think 4 miles. So I just drove back into Newport from South Beach, and then I got an offer from Flashbacks in South Beach. So I'm gonna go right back over the bridge again. Next up is an $8 offer from Lucky Tie Elephant. Next up is a shopping order from Safeway. And it's only $8, but it's only 3 items to shop for, and it looks like it's all candy, so it should all be in one spot. This should be pretty easy. While I was in Safeway, I got an add-on for Fred Meyer. This one is 2 items, and they're right across the street from each other. How perfect is that? All right, $16 for Taco Bell and Momiji, 2 customers. One of them's in South Beach. Well, I had to wait about 20 minutes at Taco Bell for that order. Partially because they were busy and partially because it was a huge order. I'm surprised it didn't say catering on the offer card. Next up, after a little bit of waiting around, is a catering order from Momiji. So that Momiji catering order went up to over $20 and I got a $10 cash tip. And now I've got a Safeway shopping order, 2 items, $3. It sucks, but I'm gonna do it. I made 2 mistakes while accepting this order. I knew it was a charity case and I kind of didn't care because I just did that really good one. But I forgot it was peak pay. So it means this order's really, really bad. And also, this is a hotel that I absolutely hate delivering to. This is a lot better. This is an $18 Fred Meyer order. Well, this person increased their tip on that Fred Meyer shopping order after it was over. So I am over $2,500 for the month. I was not expecting to get done a day early. I thought I'd be cramming down to the last day just because it's such a short month. That is awesome. I'm gonna end my dash here for the night. It is after 9 o'clock and this last order took me out of the zone. So I probably am gonna be driving a little bit before I get another offer. And at this point I might as well just go home. So I could have just been done there, but I had 1 day left. So I decided I was not going to film my Saturday night shift because I already reached the goal, but I will talk you through what happened so that we can go through the numbers for the whole month. Really briefly, this is the first offer I got. $9.70 for 4.7 miles, shopping for 7 items at Safeway. I looked at the shopping list and saw that there were a few items in here that were deli adjacent that were probably going to take a little extra time. I decided that was not worth it, so I declined that. Then I got a 730 Plus from Clearwater, which I did take. That total went up to $13.30. I was glad I did that. And then I got a $24 offer from Momiji. It was going to Depot Bay. It was over $2 a mile. I took that, and it actually went up to $26. And then I got a stacked offer from Taco Bell and Ocean Blue at Geno's. Both orders were going to the same hotel, so I was happy to do that one. And then I got a $16 offer from McDonald's going 8 miles deep into South Beach. I took that. Then I ended my dash with $71.62. I was only online for about 2 hours, but I figured it was just a bonus extra little shift there. Let's start with this last week, the last 7 days of the month. That is in this video. For this week, I averaged $1.70 per mile and $28.82 per hour. As far as the entire month goes, I did 44 dashes in Newport, my usual zone, 5 in Lincoln City, 2 in the Corvallis zone, and 1 in Walport. That's a total of 52 dashes, during which time I did 314 deliveries and worked for about 117 and a half hours. My base pay was $937.95. I made over $1,600 in tips and $37 in cash tips, which is the most I've ever had in cash tips, for a total of $2,587.02 for the month. I drove 1,681.2 miles, so I averaged $1.54 per mile for the month of February, and that is the best average dollar per mile for a given month that I've had to date, and also had the best hourly rate averaged for a whole month to date at $22.03 per hour. I am not going to try to maintain $2,500 per month going forward. In order to have a better work-life hobby balance, which I'm trying to focus really hard on improving this year, I'm going to settle for $2,000 for the next couple of months, and I might revisit $2,500 or possibly more in the future. I'm also not going to continue doing videos of every single shift anymore. That was just a February thing. I still will be putting out videos here. It may not necessarily be every week. The amount of editing I had to do this month was not sustainable at all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe. And until I see you in the next one, happy dashing.